All right. Well, I think we've started already. The Skype says it's just starting recording right now. So hopefully we are rolling. Uh, Big news. And you were nice enough to tell me right when we got onto air right now. Giannis just signed his deal to stay in Milwaukee long term. So I'm a happy guy right now.
How could you not be, man? That's big news. I know we kind of expected him to stay there, but until it's the names on the paper, there's always going to be questions, and it's exciting, man.
You've heard me for years saying he's staying, he's staying, he's staying. But when the Bogdanovich trade got fumbled, like that was the part where I was like, oh no. And I heard that was like the first time that like he was starting to have more reservations. And I was getting more concerned than I was at any point. So yes.
I never thought, like before it happened, that LeBron was going to leave. I never thought he would leave. So, once it happens, I'm very happy for you that he's got his name signed on that contract.
Thank you. Yeah, the Braun thing is weird because you find out about years later like how bad the locker room was.
Yep.
And the stories about Delonte West and his mom and like I don't know how many other ones there were. Like I wasn't privy to any of that information before that.
Yeah. Who knows what's true and what's not? But yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. So we're gonna break down today's Tuesday preseason slate for you. Again, we'll do the same thing we did yesterday. We came up short. 100 likes on this video, and we'll do members only for the public tomorrow. All you got to do is hit the thumbs up button. Pretty simple to do, and we'll get you guys some free information out there. As it is, we'll go through our favorite plays of the day on this one and kind of help you through the 3-game slate the best that we can. I mean, it's preseason. I know it's difficult on you guys. It's difficult on us too. We're doing our best to cover it, but there's a lot of guessing that goes into this, much more than the regular season and the postseason.
For sure. Excited to break it down, but that's just a given, right? A lot of this is a guessing game.
No doubt about it. If you want to try to eliminate the guessing game and try to skinny that bad boy down, check out the matchup shop on overlaydfs.com. Because at that point, then, a lot of times you're just choosing a one-on-one situation. Now, if you want to run the 12-thing parlay, yeah, it gets a little bit more difficult then. But it's a great way in the preseason here and in the regular season. If you got something you really like, shove your chips in on the one chip you like, the one thing you like. And I know, like on DK, you're required to take at least 8 plays. And there are days where maybe you don't like that many guys. This could be something here. Maybe you just got 2 picks you really like. Run a 2-thing parlay, get the 3-to-1 return on your investment or 4-to-1, however it works out. The name of the website is overlaydfs.com. Give them a look-see.
Yeah, let's get it, guys.
All right. So we were doing a 5-pack promotion where we were giving half off to all the new monthly customers over the last couple of days. We have ended that one. Welcome aboard to all the new customers. Thank you for signing up. What we're going to do for the next couple of days, for as far as the promotion is concerned, is one thing. We're going to do a discount on lifetime memberships for the next few days. If you've considered it, if you've thought about it, this is a one-time payment that gets you permanent access to everything that we do. It is the best bang for buck that you can get for your dollar. I know we've got probably a couple hundred lifetime members at this point, and I don't know what to tell you. It's a great deal. You don't ever have to spend another dollar. Typically, the price on that is $400. For the next few days, we will run a 25% off promotion on that. If you use the website to sign up, you'll get a reimbursement right away. Otherwise, you can use the PayPal or Venmo address below to send a straight $300 payment. And the NBA package is still up at $75 if you want to use the PayPal or Venmo address below.
Yep, can't beat it.
1 week away from regular season NBA. And I'm still looking for a couple of fantasy basketball players if anybody is interested. I got like 1 or 2 spots in the Roto League left and 1 spot in the head-to-head league that's going to draft this Sunday. If you're interested, hit me up with a DM or an email. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. And if you choose to sign up as a DFS 5-pack member, the daily write-ups, we go through a 5-pack of our favorite plays. We give you the whys we're using them, not just numbers, but the whys. We break it down for you. That's kind of what it looks like. And then right before we get into the guys, I just want to reiterate, we got the new format rolling this year. You've seen it the last couple of shows. We will keep this going throughout the regular season. We're going to bump up the number of free picks you give you guys from 4 to 5, but we're going to add in long shots as part of that 5-pack, which for you guys who like to look for long shots, that might be your favorite part of the video.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about that.
All right. So let's start with my cash game play of the day. It is a young man by the name of De'Aaron Fox. Personally inked himself a big money deal not too long ago. He's my cash lock of the day. So the big part about why we like De'Aaron Fox over some of the other big money players out there is I expect a bump in minutes for Game 3. It's the preseason. Nothing's for sure, but I expect him to get extra minutes tonight. We saw him bump up his minutes from Game 1 to Game 2. Last year, it was noted the Kings let their studs run pretty deep. There was even an overtime game where they let them run into. I don't know this for sure, but that could be tonight. I wouldn't be surprised to see De'Aaron Fox play 30 to 35 minutes tonight. Again, it's far from a done deal. But as far as all the guys on this slate goes, we feel very comfortable with the Kings players as one of the better bets to go. And even though we're probably not alone there, the fact that it's the later game may actually keep people off the Kings a little bit. I think Fox wants to go out there and try to give it to Steph Curry tonight because everybody wants to do that. Golden State's missing their best defenders. They are a lackluster defensive team right now. I think Fox, to me, is probably the first guy that I put in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense here. So, man, the game 3 is just such a big advantage. And I agree with you about how the games later will definitely keep people off it. We see in these slates, in these preseason slates where there's a lot of question marks, people like going to the sure thing. And the sure thing is the starting lineups that are out early. People feel much more comfortable there. It kind of reminds me of the Lakers on the opening slate, where we really liked them and they seemed kind of obvious, but the ownership wasn't what it should be because it was the late game. Do you agree?
Yes. And speaking of the Lakers, I have a serious question for you. Who's better, LeBron, Anthony Davis, or Horton Tucker?
Seriously, right?
The guy is balling in the preseason. I saw this funny meme last night, and it was Horton Tucker staring at Kuzma and all the minutes that he gets.
Yeah, seriously, though.
All right, man. So that's my cash game play of the day. As far as your GPP play of the day, he made the cover today, and that is a young man by the name of John Wall.
Yeah, so another guy that's going into his 3rd game. We like that a lot here. I think that's an advantage on the field that a lot of people might not realize because their 2nd game was a slate that didn't play. Or it was a Sunday slate, excuse me, where football.
So everybody was watching football.
Yeah, exactly. Wall, despite, a lot of rumors that he looked dusted after having 2 years, looked very good in the preseason. He played 5 more minutes in game 2 than he did game 1. No guarantee he'll play 5 more minutes tonight, but would certainly expect him to play 5 more minutes as opposed to 5 less minutes. If nothing else, he played close to 25 last game. I like him for at least that here. He's a DFS stud. When he gets the minutes and he's healthy, he can put up DFS points with the best of them. I like him a lot here, and I'm hopeful that his $8,100 price tag keeps people off.
And James Harden being back tonight could keep people off of him. We don't know how much Harden's going to play tonight. I think that's a giant wild card. It's possible we get some news later in the day, but at this point, I haven't seen anything to give me any clue if Harden's going to play 30 or 3. The answer is obviously probably somewhere in the middle of that, but I wouldn't expect him to come out and play 30 tonight. I don't think that's likely. I think it's more likely that Wall could outplay him for the number of minutes on this one.
I agree.
So, and also those guys can succeed together. This is not a Mike D'Antoni system where it's just James Harden doing everything and nobody else does anything. So I think they'll have to spread the ball around. And I do think the 8,100 price tag and James Harden back keeps people off John Wall.
For sure.
All right. Next up, our mutual favorite play of the day is going to be a young man by the name of, why can't I think of his first name? Tyler, right?
Tyrese
Halliburton. I was drawing a blank for a second. 5K shooting guard eligible was the big thing that sold me on him right here. If you go back and look at the game the other day, which I believe also fell on a Sunday, so everybody was paying attention to the NFL, he played 30 minutes for the Sacramento Kings, and I counted up his numbers, 32 and a half DraftKings points in that game. The shooting guard eligibility cannot be underrated, more so than anything. Other than like having Giannis and like Zion last night, like the forward spots and the shooting guard spots have been weak. This gives me a strong shooting guard who plays like a point guard. They obviously like the young man. He's primed for a nice role with the team this year. We like him a lot as our favorite play on the slate, at least the one that we agree on as far as our favorite play.
It's namely the shooting guard and small forward positions that seem to be very weak in these slates. And a lot of these guys, like Ben Simmons, for instance, he no longer has shooting guard eligibility. He's only a point guard. You got a guy in Halliburton here who you mentioned played 30 minutes last game. This is a guy that fell to the Kings in the draft. Most people expected him to go in the top 10, fell right outside there. He's good. He was very good at Iowa State. This is a guy that can play right away. I don't think it's a coincidence or surprise he played 30 minutes. Like him quite a bit here. And, man, he's so affordable at 5K. Definitely a lock for us.
Yeah, he'll be in my shooting guard spot, no questions about it. If I made one lineup, he'd be in there. If I make 3, he'll play in 2 or 3 of them. I wouldn't expect him to play significantly fewer minutes. Now, the flip side of all of our Kings love today comes from the fact that Hassan Whiteside and Marvin Bagley could potentially be back. I'm not overly concerned with it, but it is something to look out for. They're both big, so it really shouldn't affect Halliburton too much. But it is something to kind of keep your eyes peeled on. But when you focus on the late game, like we might be right here, it is nice to have some flexibility with what you do with these guys, as some of them play or don't play.
For sure.
All right, let's keep moving on down the list. Next up, for my long shot play of the day, I don't know if I would even call him a long shot, but he is somebody I think will go a little bit under the radar, and that's Jakob Poeltl of the San Antonio Spurs. So the big question with San Antonio is, I think somebody said that in the video the other day, pop's going to pop. You never really know what they're going to do with their minutes. We were both shocked how much DeRozan and Rudy Gay played in game one. There is no guarantee that the starters play bigger minutes or the more veteran players play bigger minutes, or maybe they play more. Who knows? I agree with the same. Pop is going to pop. But Poeltl played very well in game one. He is a very good point per minute guy. The biggest concern, though, is always just him getting the minutes. Another thing that you might like is LaMarcus Aldridge is playing more on the perimeter this year. He took 10 3-pointers last game after being encouraged by Greg Popovich to turn into a little bit more of a three-point shooter. This gives Jakob Poeltl a little bit more free reign of the post right now in a game where I'm not really overly concerned with what Houston's going to be able to do to him.
Yeah, again, none of this is guaranteed, but it's hard to see these guys playing less minutes in game two. Like, it just, the logic isn't really there. San Antonio hasn't played in months. They were in the bubble, weren't they?
Yes.
Okay, they were in the bubble, but they didn't make the playoffs. So, only got a little bit of playing time there. The regular season starts next week. It just doesn't really make sense to play guys 25 minutes and then less. Who knows if they play more, but man, I think the San Antonio guys, kind of like the Kings, are good looks here. Good looks all over. Poeltl's a guy that can put up DFS points when he's out there. We always talk about big men and point guards, and he's like the prototypical big man who just, gets DFS points when he's in because he rebounds and he scores down low.
Yeah, good rebounder. He should lead the San Antonio in rebounds tonight if given the ample opportunity to do so. The big question is just the minutes, because it's Pop, and Pop has popped us all way too many times in the past. Doesn't always apply to the logic that you want as a fantasy player, but I'm willing to take that dive tonight with Jakob Poeltl.
For shizzle.
All right, Matt's long shot of the day, another guy we actually both like in this situation. Tristan is listed as out, and possibly no Feast as well, which makes me wonder what kind of love Robert Williams might get.
Yeah, he's another guy. The Time Lord, aptly nickname, is another guy that can put up monster DFS points with when he's in there. Just talked about Poeltl. If both these guys were playing the same amount, I like Williams more from an upside perspective. I think we know what we're going to get more out of Poeltl, but Boston's first game, don't expect the studs, they're bigger guys to play. When I say bigger guys, I mean the bigger names to play big minutes here. Preseason setting is perfect for a guy like Williams. I've always been a fan of his. He's got a game that is kind of like Clint Capella's. He can rack up DFS points in a hurry. I'm a fan, and I like him quite a bit here.
Yeah, I like him as well. And I think the power forward eligibility cannot be overstated, because there's plenty of centers you're going to want to roster like every single DFS slate ever. But the fact that you get a center who's power forward eligibility is big time to me.
Amen.
All right, guys, that's what we got for today. Members only availability to members. Sign up for a membership. We'll hit you up with that. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful Tuesday. And we got plenty of NFL and NBA to talk about all week. It's a good thing for all of our fellow DFS addicts.
Yep. Thanks, guys.